Yeah, I fucked up. Know what I mean? Just being real shit. I fucked up.
The lights are flashing, the crowd is screaming, and the music is blaring. Miami nightlife at its wildest. But what happens when the party stops and the lawsuits begin? Tonight, we're diving into the shocking financial and legal storm surrounding Offset, Cardi B's estranged husband, as two men push forward to collect a staggering $232,000 judgment against the rapper. And trust me, you're going to want to wait and watch this clip to see exactly what's going on behind the scenes. But before we break it all down, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because this channel is where the truth meets the drama, and you don't want to miss a single twist. Offset, one-third of the Migos and one-time rap royalty, has found himself in yet another scandal. But this isn't about music. This isn't even about Cardi. This is about two men, Liamzi Izquierdo and Humberto Crespo, who say Offset ruined their night at a Miami strip club back in 2021. And now, years later, they've come back with court documents that could shake Offset's pockets in ways he never imagined. According to their claims, Offset attacked them during a night out at BT's On the River, a club known for its high-profile clientele and wild energy. What was supposed to be an unforgettable night turned into one filled with bruises, hospital visits, and emotional trauma. Izquierdo and Crespo allege they suffered serious injuries requiring ongoing medical treatment, and they say the scars, both physical and mental, have followed them ever since. The lawsuit, originally filed against Offset, didn't exactly go his way. Why? Because he never responded. He insisted he wasn't properly served with the papers. He argued that the legal documents were basically tossed into the chaos of a packed nightclub. Imagine that. Flashing lights, drinks flying, bodies everywhere, and someone trying to hand you legal papers. Offset claims he never even had a fair shot to defend himself. But the court saw things differently. His failure to respond led to a default judgment against him, a massive $232,000 payday for the two men. And now, Izquierdo and Crespo aren't just waiting for the check. They've taken the next big step. They've filed papers in Georgia, where Offset actually lives, so they can enforce their win and go after his assets directly. That's right. They want their money, and they want it now. This isn't just about legal technicalities. It's about image. For a rapper who built his career on luxury, flexing cars, cash, and jewelry, facing down court orders to cough up hundreds of thousands of dollars paints a very different picture. The shine of diamonds and the glitter of fame suddenly look a lot dimmer when lawyers are circling and bills are piling up. Offset isn't going down without a fight, though. Earlier this year, he begged the court to set aside the ruling, but the judge wasn't having it. His motion was denied. Now, with a new hearing scheduled for February 2026, he's scrambling to find another legal angle to contest the judgment. But the clock is ticking, and the plaintiffs aren't backing down. Fans, of course, have already turned this drama into a social media circus. Many are saying that Offset deserves every hit to his wallet, especially after his very public scandals with Cardi B. Scandals that painted him as unfaithful and reckless. For some, this legal mess feels like karma finally catching up to him. But the real question is, will Offset's money drama destroy the empire he worked so hard to build? Or will he somehow flip the script and come out stronger? Offset's money drama isn't just about one lawsuit. It's about a pattern. The rapper has long lived life in the fast lane. Diamond-encrusted watches, Lamborghinis, designer fits, private jets. His social media has always been a constant stream of luxury, flexing the kind of wealth most people only dream about. But behind the glitz, there's a growing question. Can Offset actually afford the lifestyle he flaunts, or has it all been smoke and mirrors? Think about it. A $232,000 judgment might not seem like much for a superstar rapper, but when you stack it on top of other lawsuits, lawyer fees, and the costs of maintaining his image, that number starts to sting. Especially for someone whose income isn't as steady as it once was. Remember, The Migos as a trio haven't been the same since Takeoff's tragic death and the very public falling out between Offset and Quavo. Those group tours and record sales, they're not rolling in the same way anymore. Fans have pointed out that Offset's solo career hasn't exactly matched the meteoric success he enjoyed as part of the Migos. Sure, he's dropped hits, but the consistency hasn't been there. And when you're shelling out for Bentleys, massive chains, and sprawling mansions, inconsistency is dangerous. Add a legal judgment into the mix, and suddenly the pressure is real. On social media, the opinions are brutally divided. Some fans are rallying behind him, saying that this lawsuit is just another attempt to tear a successful black man down. Others are not so sympathetic. They say Offset's reputation for cheating on Cardi B, running his mouth, and brushing off accountability has finally come back to bite him. In fact, some fans are straight up celebrating his misfortune, calling it karma. But here's the twist. This case isn't only about Offset versus two men in Miami. It's about Offset versus the system. By registering the judgment in Georgia, the plaintiffs now have the legal power to go after his assets directly. Think bank accounts, property, even cars. That's right. If Offset doesn't pay up, they can start seizing. And you better believe fans are keeping their eyes peeled for the day Offset's luxury cars get towed away under court order. What makes this even more dramatic is the timeline. February 2026. That's the date of his next big court hearing. That means this cloud will hang over Offset for more than a year. A year of speculation, memes, headlines, and questions about whether he'll cave under financial pressure or find a way to fight back. And let's not forget Cardi B. Even though they're estranged, her name inevitably comes up in this mess. Fans online have already linked the judgment to their rocky relationship, with many saying Offset's reckless choices, not just in love but in money, are exactly why Cardi left him. Others suggest that Cardi, who's gearing up for her own projects, is secretly relieved not to be financially tied to Offset's mounting problems anymore. But there's another layer. Offset himself has insisted this whole thing isn't fair. He claims he was never properly served, that the court documents were basically tossed in the chaos of a nightclub, and that he never had a chance to defend himself. Imagine being Offset watching $232,000 slip away because you say you didn't even know you were being sued. Whether you believe him or not, it adds a wild dimension to the story. The fans, though, they don't care about legal technicalities, they care about the drama. They care about whether Offset will finally face consequences for years of messy behavior. They care about Cardi B's reaction. And they care about the possibility that Offset's empire might start crumbling before their eyes. Offset's story has never been scandal-free. From the very beginning, he's been branded as the wild card of Migos, the one who gets caught up in drama, the one who never quite escapes controversy. And for years, that bad boy image worked in his favor. It gave him street credibility, kept his name in the blogs, and made fans feel like he was living the very life he rapped about. But here's the thing. What happens when the scandals stop selling records and start costing money? Let's rewind. Offset has faced multiple arrests throughout his career. Gun charges, drug possession, parole violations. He's had beef with other rappers, altercations in public, and of course his on-again, off-again marriage to Cardi B has been a headline machine all on its own. Fans remember vividly the moment Cardi announced a divorce in 2020, only to take him back after he begged on stage with flowers. That's the kind of drama Offset has thrived on. But now, the narrative feels different. This lawsuit isn't about cheating scandals or messy public breakups. It's about money, cold, hard cash, and money scandals are harder to spin into sympathy. Offset can't charm his way out of a judgment. He can't drop a verse and make it disappear. He can't go on Instagram Live, flashing jewelry, and hope people forget. Court orders don't care about image, they care about payment. Fans online are already comparing this case to some of his past troubles. They're saying, Offset always finds a way to skate by, but this time the system's got him. And for once they might be right, because this isn't a criminal case where he can make bail and move on. This is a civil judgment, and the plaintiffs are playing the long game. They know exactly where Offset lives, where he banks, and how to squeeze until they get paid. Some insiders close to the industry are whispering that this judgment is just the tip of the iceberg. Rumors are swirling about Offset's spending habits, unpaid taxes, and quiet debts piling up behind the scenes. If those rumors are true, this $232,000 judgment could be the domino that starts a much bigger collapse. And then there's the emotional toll. Offset has always projected toughness, but people forget he's human. He lost Takeoff, one of the closest people in his life, in 2022. He's estranged from Cardi, the mother of his children, and now he's facing the possibility of financial humiliation. For a man who's built his brand on pride and power, this lawsuit cuts deeper than it looks on paper. What's chilling is how the fans are reacting. Many don't feel sorry for him at all. In fact, some say this is justice for the way he treated Cardi B, for the way he's disrespected her publicly and privately over the years. Tweets are pouring in with people saying things like, "Cheat on your wife, lose your life. Karma always finds its way." Others are taking shots at his luxury lifestyle, saying, "Better pawn one of those chains." But let's not forget, Offset isn't down and out just yet. He's still performing, still dropping features, still securing bags in ways only celebrities can. But the question is, how long can he keep it up if the courts are waiting at the door? This lawsuit could be a turning point. It could force Offset to finally sit down, restructure his life, and face accountability. Or it could spiral into more chaos, pushing him to lash out, rebel, and double down on his reckless behavior. Either way, the world is watching closely. February 2026 may sound far away, but in the world of legal battles, it's practically tomorrow. That's the date when Offset is scheduled to face a Georgia court to contest the judgment against him. For most celebrities, a hearing like this might fly under the radar, but not for Offset. His entire reputation, his financial stability, and even his public image are tied to this one moment. The plaintiffs, Liamzi Izquierdo and Humberto Crespo, are not backing down. They've waited years for this opportunity. First, they claimed they were assaulted by Offset in a strip club altercation back in 2021. Then, they fought through the legal system, filed their papers, and finally won a default judgment, after Offset failed to respond properly. Now they're circling in like sharks who smell blood in the water. And here's the thing. This isn't just about money for them. Sources close to the case say both men feel deeply disrespected, not only by the alleged assault, but by the way Offset dismissed the case as if it didn't matter. They want accountability. They want a public acknowledgement. They want the world to see Offset humbled in a way they feel he's never been before. Offset, on the other hand, is fighting back hard. His legal team argues he was never properly served, that papers dropped in a crowded nightclub don't count. But the court wasn't convinced, and now he's stuck playing defense. Legal experts say that unless Offset can pull off a miracle, he'll likely be forced to pay up. And if the plaintiffs push for enforcement in Georgia, that could mean liens on his property, garnished wages, and public embarrassment. But there's another layer to this. Cardi B. Even though their relationship is fractured, the shadow of their marriage still lingers over everything Offset does. Fans are already speculating about her reaction. Will Cardi take shots at him in her new music? Will she mock him publicly the way he mocked her in the past? Or will she remain silent, letting the judgment speak for itself? Some fans believe Cardi might even secretly relish this moment. After all, she's been open about the pain Offset caused her during their marriage. She's admitted that his cheating left her broken, depressed, and struggling to trust again. And now, watching him squirm under financial pressure could feel like karma finally coming full circle. But here's where it gets even wilder. Some fans argue that this lawsuit could actually be a blessing in disguise for Offset. They say a public loss might humble him, strip away the arrogance, and force him to rebuild. Not as the flashy rapper who takes everything for granted, but as a man determined to prove himself. Could Offset reinvent himself once again, the way he did after Migos' initial decline? Or is this truly the end of the road for him? Social media is already divided. One fan tweeted, "Offset deserves this. He disrespected Cardi for years. Now karma's cashing the check." Another fan shot back, Y'all so quick to tear a man down. Offset is talented. He'll bounce back. The war of opinions only fuels the fire, making this one of the most talked about celebrity scandals of 2025. And let's not forget, the February 2026 hearing is still months away. That means months of headlines, months of speculation, and months of Offset living under the microscope. Every move he makes until then will be dissected, every post he drops will be analyzed, and every slip-up could tip the scales against him. So here's the cliffhanger, folks. Will Offset emerge from this court battle bruised but standing tall, proving that he can't be knocked down so easily? Or will this judgment be the fatal blow to a career already weighed down by scandals, broken relationships, and financial chaos? One thing is certain, this is no longer just a lawsuit. This is a battle for legacy. And when that gavel drops in February 2026, Offset's entire future could change in an instant. So what do you think? Is Offset truly facing the end of his era? Or will he rise from the ashes once again? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this is one story we're going to be following until the very last chapter. And trust me, when that day comes, you'll want to be here to witness it with us.